Hello and welcome back for another model. This time, it's the Enterprise.
Be specific, Captain. Which Enterprise?
This was the Constitution class.
His ship.
James T. Kirk.
The one and only.
Yes, NCC-1701, the old girl herself. At 1/650 scale, it will be 18 inches in length and the saucer 8 inches wide. It comes with decal options for the pilot episode The Cage, the second pilot Where No Man Has Gone Before, the Mirror Universe episode Mirror Mirror, and the production model. But it doesn't come with the optional parts, such as the needles on the Buzzard collector assemblies, which were seen in the two pilot and Mirror Universe episodes. The shielding coil and shuttle bay doors were also a different design, and the deflector dish was bigger in the pilot episodes. So these parts would need to be scratch built to get the model to accurately portray these versions if that's the way you wanted to go. But I was sticking with the production model anyway. Before I get to the build, my last two Star Trek builds, the USS Reliant and Grissom, both received Ship of the Week from the Star Trek Modelers group on Facebook. Now, can I make a 3 in a row? Anyway, for now, on to the build, and first off, I'll get rid of these dreadful lumps of sprue from the saucer section. I'm purposely not cutting close to the saucer and leaving some of the plastic behind because if I was to try and line up the clippers, it would definitely cut into the saucer. Now I take a high gauge file and file it down. The closer I get to the saucer, the lower I'll go with the gauge. That's done, but a little surprise awaits as the top section is warped. The stories about this particular AMT release were not exaggerated. That should be easily remedied though, plenty of glue, loads of clamps, and some filler. This model wasn't designed to be lit up, but as is my wont, I shall be lighting her up. Both sensor arrays, the navigation lights will need to be drilled out, and windows along the circumference of the saucer. I'll go and light block it first of all, black then silver. I'll start drilling the windows. The round ones are of course the easiest, but this model has mostly rectangle shaped ones. For those, drill 2 or 3 holes and I'll shape them. Now the left and right navigation lights. Then I join the saucer together so I can mark where the top navigation light should be. Back to the rectangle windows, using my craft knife with a new blade, work with the holes already drilled to shape the window. This method is fine for this model as there are so few windows. Wouldn't dream of doing it though for the Enterprise D or E. For the lighting, 4 5mm LEDs will be sufficient. Join all the red and black cables together along with an additional red and black to run down through the dorsal section into the hull. I'm going to add one more 5mm LED to the top section just to be sure we get enough light. I added the green and red navigation lights, and one either side will perfectly light top and bottom. Once all the LEDs are in place, I'll hot glue them down and seal up the saucer. Once left overnight, I applied filler around the saucer and left for another day. Then applied a primer coat which showed up more imperfections on the saucer, so I filled them again and resprayed. The impulse engine housing doesn't sit at all correctly, so I snipped off the clips as they don't match up and filled in the holes. The Smithsonian, who housed the original 12-foot model that was used in the series, underwent massive restoration a few years back, and the main colour they matched to the saucer was heather grey. For me, AS20 insignia white is very close. Onto the nacelles, and there's two immediate issues. The pieces are clearly warped and one of the buzzard collectors has imperfections, but not only that, the light is not going to come through very well at all. First off, while off the flash there's quite a bit and light block. With the buzzard pieces, I'm going to replace the top with the top of white plastic measuring spoons. I'll saw the top off and smooth it down with different gauge files. Then snip the spoon and file to smooth. And that fits fine. I'd say there's about a 2 to 3 mm difference in the height from the original, but I can live with that. Light block the bottom section and a quick light test and it's looking good. For the inside of the spoons, I'm going to use an orange-violet space dust paint. Before I seal up the nacelles, I'm going to do some detail painting. The inner grille chrome silver and the inner piece a mid grey, and mask it off. The intercoolers need a bit of cleanup and I'll be spraying them and the shielding cowl a light grey. To place the LED in the nacelle, I'll hot glue a piece of sprue where I want the LED to sit. Putting the two parts together, you can see they don't line up properly. So, to overcome this, I line it up with masking tape, and about a millimetre, if even that, of the nacelle will become part of the coil, but I'll score it with the craft knife, making it look like it's part of the coil. Now to fill it, and once dry, file it down, then prime it. Some areas are still showing gapping, so more putty and respray. You can see the dreadful light leak due to the fact that the parts don't fit properly, so more putty, and spray the coil. Now fit the remaining parts of the nacelle. Onto the hull, and you can see how the windows are all misshapen and not to scale, so I'll smooth it down, and using the decals I'll re-drill to a more correct scale. Two strips of LED should light it up fine. Unfortunately, the only circuit boards I carry are too big. I should have put it in the saucer, but I forgot to. It just means the navigation lights won't blink, but I can live with that. So 2 cables running down to the base and 2 to the nacelles. Big gaps when the upper hull goes together. Here's a shot from the inside. That's not a gap, that's Beggar's Canyon. You could fly a T-16 through it. A lot of filler for this one, file it down and attach the nacelles and saucer. For the deflector assembly, I sprayed the inner section in metallic gold and the outer ring copper. The dish also copper and the antenna silver. I think that's as close as I'm going to get to the original with this kit. And finally the decals. And that's it done. For all the flaws, this truly was the Windows Vista of AMT Releases. It turned out pretty good. A couple of mistakes by me, but nothing compared to this disastrous release. All said though, I do like the way it turned out. It was incredibly challenging and it will go with the rest of the fleet. But for now, I'm putting AMT aside for a couple of builds and try to forget about this one. Until the next time.
Computer, erase that entire personal log.
If you liked what you saw, please hit the like and subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell too. Thank you.